Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Mainstream Dissident. My name is Adam, and I'll be your host. This episode is being recorded on August 24th, 2025. So you might notice here that you're seeing me live on camera. This is going to be my first video content. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get to the subject. So, being a YouTube creator, I have been looking at some of the algorithmic allowances here and there on the platform, and something caught my eye on Twitter recently. It is AI age verification. So I was doom scrolling, and this happened to pop up here. So this is from July 29th. I'm a little late to the game here, boys, but that's okay. That's okay. So what we're seeing here is that from Disclosed TV, YouTube will begin using AI to monitor user behavior and psychology to determine whether viewers in the US are over or under 18. And it has a little excerpt from their site here. Now, I went to their site. It does say the same thing, just to verify there. So we will use AI to interpret a variety of signals that help us to determine whether a user is over or under 18. These signals include the types of videos a user is searching for, the categories of videos they have watched, or the longevity of the account. So that being said, if you are a new account, you're going to be assumed to be under 18 until you watch content that says you're over 18. Well, maybe you won't be assumed that you're under 18 because you haven't watched any content yet, but how does it work? Okay. So the videos you watch, if you start to watch, let's say you're a total nerd and you're watching Minecraft Let's Play videos, they're probably going to assume that you're under 18, unless you're one of those big ass baby guys. I don't know. That's not my style these days. I kind of care about what's happening around me, happening in the real world. But what these guys are going to be doing, they are going to be using your viewing habits to tell you if you're 18 or not, regardless of what birthday you put in. Now, I didn't see that on their site. I scoured the whole thing. I went from top to bottom, and it just talks about the protection of kids. It talks about the safety. That's the guise of safety. That's what they are trying to promote. They want you to think that you are being a safe little guy and everything is hunky dory and you're okay and you're gonna be safe thanks to this. Your kids are gonna be safe because they're not gonna watch harmful content. And I don't know if you've had the chance to go over to, if one of your family members have kids, if you have kids and you haven't seen what they allowed on YouTube Kids. It's some pretty messed up stuff. I don't know if you've watched the brain rot content. Like you see a hyperimposed face on a chicken nugget just spewing some of the most random stuff. Some of the skibbity toilet content. Like this is complete and utter bizarro whack job stuff that they are pushing to your kids. Now, I, ironically enough, I'm going to use Google's AI answer to see what they're talking about here. So, YouTube's new age verification uses a machine learning system to create an estimate of a user's age based on factors like viewing history, searches, account longevity, regardless of the birthday listed on the account. Now, that's kind of similar to what YouTube posts on their site. YouTube and Google, they're extension of one another. They're the Alphabet Corporation, I do believe. So, system analyzes a variety of user signals to estimate age, including types of videos watched, the categories of content viewed, and how long the account has been active. Age-based protections, they just talk about, hey, we're going to be safe for your kids. User verification. So here's the crux of it. Here's where it's like, whoa, wait a minute. Hold on. Most of you guys, including myself up until recently, I was on Atlas Thugs podcast here, have wanted to stay anonymous. We want to stay anonymous to protect ourselves because there are a lot of bad people in this world. But here is the thing. If a user is wrongly identified under the age of 18 by AI, they can verify their age by providing a valid government ID or credit card. Now, who has this information? It is going to be YouTube, the Alphabet Corporation. Not a guy down the street, not that guy that has differing political beliefs than you and hates your guts and wants to off your family, but a big corporation. Now, some people might not be afraid of that, or, and I'm not an advocate of fear. I don't think you should live in fear. I think you should live in awareness, and whether or not you're afraid or not is ultimately up to you. You can be aware of something, but learn to move past it. We do not have to live in fear. Okay. But what does this mean for the average person? What does this mean? That you have to provide your ID to a company that told you that a certain injection was safe and effective for years. They told you what you can and can't say. They told you what you can and can't think. These people this technocracy that is forming, they now have your information, and your information is directly tied to these data collection centers. Now, these data collection centers, at least that's what I refer to them to, is every social media you use online. It's all a form of data collection. Now, I'm not one of those guys that says, oh, well, don't use TikTok because then China has all your data. I'm more concerned about my government having my data rather than some, Chinese guy squinting and it's not even sunny. I don't want my data to be given to the government because of further legal ramifications down the line. I have political beliefs that I would consider fringe, other people would consider fringe, and the fact that I have to give my ID would mean that during that data collection process, seeing me scroll through X, and we all know that that's the wild, wild west over there, that is going to create a profile for me. And if they ever want to pull that profile, let's say I have a self-defense situation against whatever, it's a self-defense situation, and they pull my data and they see, well, here's all the things that line up with Adam. Okay. Is that going to hurt or help me? Probably in my case, it's going to hurt me, dude. That's not going to be good. So that's something to be aware of. YouTube is doing it, and I'm sure that other companies are doing it. Some people have the belief that on X, we are just being data farmed. That's why we're all allowed on there. That's why we're starting to be able to talk about certain things on the platform X, is because we are just it's this data-driven collection center, and we're all being, kind of funneled there because it's a great platform to use if you want to connect and network and all that, but we're being funneled there so they can watch us and observe our every move. Now, is that possible? Oh, yeah. And am I afraid of it? Not at all. Because guess what? Whether or not you are sitting on X or you are sitting on YouTube or whatever, you are being watched. You have that little personal device in your pocket called a cell phone, and everything that you say, I'm not saying the recorder is always on all the time, but if you guys look into the Patriot Act, some of the clauses in there reference smart devices being able to be monitored. Now, that was back in 2001, and I don't know if you guys know this, but smart devices really weren't a thing, yet they had the forethought and the foreknowledge to put that clause in there. Now, why might that be? Is that because they want to protect you? Or is that because they had a plan in the future for, this dystopian surveillance state, which we are currently entering into? Now, something else that I thought was relevant to bring up in today's discussion is the fact that they are going to be putting AI into your kids' toys. Now, this isn't a leapfrog little laptop pad that we're talking about. This is toys such as Barbie, Hot Wheels, stuff that a kid probably under 10 would be looking at. So if we look to my screen here, of course, we're gonna use AI again to give us all the details. It's ironic that I'm talking about this. I'm talking about this Orwellian hellscape that we're hurtling towards. However, I use AI too. Word of caution here. Let's take a break. Let's get real here for a second. If you use AI, have a little bit of discernment, have a little bit of background knowledge in the fact that the same people that I brought up in one of my audio only episodes, narrative pushers, those same narrative pushers are the ones who kind of put the guardrails up when it comes to AI. They are the people that make sure that everything is kosher when it comes to AI. So that's just a little disclaimer there. It's okay to use these tools. However, use some discernment, use your heads, guys. This is all about using your heads. It's all about seeing the world, moving past it, being aware of it, and living your life with a certain, I don't want to say skepticism, but that's it, skepticism. To be a skeptic of everything kind of weeds out what is real and what is fake, what is truth and what is lies. And it seems that the best lies are always intermingled with truth. So you'll hear a true statement and you know it to be true, and then you'll kind of hear, wait a minute, that's a lie put in there. Most people don't catch that. A lot of my friends now, recently within the past week, we like to call them headline readers. Those headline readers can't tell whenever there's a big lie, the big lie put into the truth. But let's get back to these AI toys. It's kind of unsettling here. So, excuse me. Mattel is actively developing AI-powered toys in partnership with OpenAI. That's ChatGPT for all of you guys that don't know. So they're in partnership with OpenAI, with the first products expected in late 2025. Hasbro, by contrast, is focused on using AI to enhance its internal processes and consumer-facing tools such as Game Finder. I don't know what that is, but has not announced plans for AI-powered interactive LLM toys. Now, they haven't announced it. However, there are talks behind the scenes about it. And we all know that when they talk about stuff behind the scenes, guys, they mean that they are working on it. They're probably simply working out the legal ramifications of it, how to implement it, how to make money off of it the easiest way and still keep within the bounds of legality. If they have to create new laws, they will do so they get what they want. That's how they do it. They use lawfare, they use their lawyers, and they create these laws, and then they just get slipped into local government, and then soon they're put into those big omnibus bills. And then next thing you know, without us even knowing, they are laws, and all of our senators and Congress people and, the president signs it, and boom, next thing you know, this verbiage is put into law. I see from time to time, here's another little side note, I see from time to time these petitions online, like, tell your senator, sign this petition online so this doesn't happen. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I've never followed up to see if any of that stuff even works. Like, I've signed a few online petitions. I think one regarding manufacturing within the past year, and then something about vaping like a while back. Oh, okay, okay. So here it is. Here it is. I signed one about the flavored vape ban that actually took place in California. If you use disposable vapes, you can no longer get those in California because a law was passed that they're geared towards children, whatever, whatever, regardless of how you feel about the subject. What happened was, I'm pretty sure that petition got thousands upon thousands of nicotine addicts signing it, and guess what? The law still went into place. So that's something there. So they claim here that they have not announced plans for interactive LLM toys, large language learning models. So large language learning models, that's just like Grok, that's just like ChatGPT, they are, people say AI sort of as, and well, sort of with lack of knowledge, ignorance, if you will. Artificial intelligence currently in its state that we can use and interact with. It's not yet being developed further at this point. Those large language learning models, I'm no expert on them, but they are just that. They take resources offline and they give it in a palatable form. They can pull from all of these data collection centers and then they put it in a nice little package, a nice Cliff Notes version, and they're very good at it. They can only go off of data that they collect. They do not necessarily think for themselves. So that's, if you want a little bit more information on that, I might link a video that better explains that in the show notes so you can hear an expert talk about it instead of, little old mainstream dissident. So let's go further here. They do talk a little bit about controversy with the LLMs being put into toys, AI in your toys. Reactions from child advocacy groups, privacy groups, concerns, potential impacts on children's social development, the privacy implications of clouded connection, listening toys. Everything's listening to you anyways. Mattel has publicly stated its commitment to responsible AI use, emphasizing safety, privacy, and age-appropriate experiences. Of course, they're going to be age-appropriate. Of course. They want to make money off of it. So they are going to do everything within their power to fit within these guardrails that the narrative pushers are making for us. What happens whenever your young daughter or your young son, they're playing with their Barbie or their G.I. Joe or whatever the toy may be, and all of a sudden you tell your kid, hey, this is how the world works, and oh, there you go, little Johnny, pat you on the head, send you on your way. And the kid might ask some questions, and it might ask its AI toy, hey, my dad said this. Is this right? Is this how the world works? And if your parenting doesn't fit within those guardrails of the narrative pushers, what do you think that toy's going to say? Do you think the toy will tell the child that, hey, your dad's right, listen to your parents no matter what? Or do you think that AI, the LLM, put into that toy will tell your child, well, this is how it really works? And they're going to start raising your kids for you. Those little toys, those little Barbies and G.I. Joes and large language learning models, we're going to have an entire generation of children that are going to be raised on ChatGPT, bro. Think of that. Think of that. That's why it's getting a little freaky. Because yes, I know that some teens right now to this day, and some adults, mind you, are using these large language learning models as almost their Bible. They are. Hey, if you guys are Twitter users, the guys that say, Grok, is this true? Grok, is this real? Hey, Grok, is this real? Instead of just doing a quick Google search and guess what? Hey, whoa, I said it like 3 times already. AI pops up anyway. First thing, unless you actually scroll down and go further and then see people's reactions and see, oh, there's some pictures of Barbie. Unless you have the wherewithal to actually be more than a headline reader and move further down the line, you will utterly be tricked, or at least coerced, or at least idolize these large language models. And if you guys have made it this far into the video, please go ahead and give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and share the video. Word of mouth advertising is very important, as I have advocated for in past audio-only videos. You can find them all on my channel, and then you'll get a taste of the more intricate inner machinations of my mind. Yeah, they're an enigma. Yeah, they are. So, boys and girls, if you're even real, go ahead, follow my channel for more. Now, this video, it might be a little impersonal. It might be a little unprofessional. I might put a logo up on either corner of the video here in future episodes, but what I want to do right now is I want to make content for you guys. I want you guys to kind of wake up to what reality is. I want you to have discernment. I want you to have knowledge. I want you to use knowledge, and don't let the knowledge use you. I know I don't mean to be, cryptic there in my speech. However, what I want is I want the generation, the current generation, and the following generation, and the generation after that. I want to, in a way, combat this Orwellian state. I want to get back to reality. I'm honestly, I think I'm a regressionist as far as that goes, as far as, return to the land. However, the messaging found here is going to be similar moving forward. I'm not probably going to talk about AI all the time or federal involvement all the time, but you guys kind of know me if you follow me on X. Speaking of, go ahead and you can find my podcast here on Spotify. You can find it on YouTube, Rumble. You can, if RSS is more your flavor, go there. I have the little links down here. I should be making some more TikToks recently. This is my link tree on screen here. If you guys know me in my personal life, I deleted it so you can't find it, but I had an account prior, and I had all kinds of funny, silly TikTok videos on there. And dude, it was a good time. So I might use my TikTok platform for a little more comedic relief. Currently, it's just, I think I have 3 posts. It's nothing major. But I appreciate the support. This has been Adam on Mainstream Dissident. Until next time.